And can you guess what happened next? Hello interwebs and welcome back. I'm Shana and this is where I share my life and stories and adventures and opinions and whatever else I feel like. And today we are back with another creepy Japanese urban legend. This one is less yokai or monster based and more just like creepy based. So without too much rambling, let's go ahead and get into it. Beep beep beep! This is a quick reminder to let you guys know that you should hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and if you like the video at any point, go ahead and hit that like button as well. Sorry for the interruption, I'm gonna shut up now and let's get back to the video. Let's travel back in time, unless you actually are already this age, but I'd imagine you are a junior high school student and you want to be cool, you want to be trendy, you want to fit in, and you want to have your ears pierced. But alas, your parents are not cool or trendy or hip and they won't let you. So you decide one night you're just gonna pierce your ears yourself. Why not? A few days later, your ears are just on fire. And so you go to the mirror to check them out and see this weird white string kind of poking out of your ear. What would you do? Do you pull the string to try and remove it to see what it is? What if the string just keeps growing longer and longer and longer the more you pull it? Do you try to tear it? Do you try to cut it? And most of all, does just talking about this kind of make your ears itch? Because it definitely makes mine itch. Like I said before, this Japanese urban legend of the white string isn't so much yokai or monster or ghost based, but it is quite scary of a happening and definitely not something I would want to experience. This urban legend was actually popularized as recently as the 1980s, which, I mean, yeah, might be a long time ago, but realistically, it's not that long ago, considering a lot of urban legends come from, like, ancient times, you know? But because of this story, many young people were actually afraid to get their ears pierced because they believed that the story was, in fact, true. The original story was about a young girl who wanted to get her ears pierced, but her parents believed she was too young to do it. She was super determined and would beg and plead with her parents every day until finally they caved and told her, yes, you can get your ears pierced. They gave her the money so she could go get the piercing done, but she was greedy and didn't want to spend the money on the piercing because she thought she could just do it herself and it would be just as good. So she decided to save the money, invite her friend over one night, and get to piercing. If any of you remember being young and either trying to pierce your own ears or pierce your friend's ears or something, I know that's something that my friends did as a kid. I never did, but you know, it was a thing. And like most people did, they took a needle, they heated it up with some fire to try and clean it, which we know now doesn't actually work. And they painfully shoved it through the girl's ears and pierced them for her. But a few days later, the girl felt a painful jabbing in her ears while she was at school. Her ears were itching and throbbing, and she was so distracted by them during her classes. So in between class, she decided to go to the bathroom to check it out. So when she was looking in the mirror, she recognized that her ears were super red and super inflamed, and something was definitely wrong. She also noticed something a little more strange. When she looked even closer, it appeared there was some sort of white string poking out of the hole where her piercing was. Confused by the string as she was, the only thing to do was, of course, to mess with it. So she began picking at it and pulling at it, trying to remove this string from her ear and or find its source, I guess. But as she continued to pull at the string, it just kept getting longer and longer and longer. And it was getting closer to time for her next class to start. So she needed to get rid of this thing. She couldn't go into class with this string hanging from her ear. That would be ridiculous. So she reached into her bag and grabbed a pair of scissors. And can you guess what happened next? She held the scissors to the string and cut it. And immediately everything went black. She couldn't see anything. And on top of that, there was this burning pain behind her eyes. She screamed, panicking, and of course that attracted the attention of the students in the hallway who came running to the bathroom to see what the problem was. She was rushed to the emergency room where a doctor saw her, and after hearing her story, the doctor informed her that she had in fact not cut a random white string that was hanging from her ear. She had cut her optic nerve, which would render her blind for the rest of her life. There was nothing that they could do to help her. While this story is very obviously not true, it still is very clearly a warning to people about the dangers of doing piercings on your own and not going to a professional for them. So if you guys, whether you're an adult or a child or whatever it is, want a piercing, go to a professional, go to somebody who knows what they're doing. There's people who spend their whole lives learning about the safety of piercings and what goes into them and what's good and what isn't for a reason. So go to them and pay for it. It is absolutely worth it. In Japan, it's actually really interesting because you don't go to a tattoo shop or a piercing shop to get a piercing the same way you do here in America. And I don't know what it's like in other countries, but you actually go to the doctor to get a piercing. And you definitely won't see piercing pagodas in the mall or in a Claire's or something along those lines. And if you want a piercing, don't go to those pagodas, don't go to Claire's. Go to that tattoo shop, go to that professional. I promise you it is worth it. This story I think was really interesting. It's an interesting little way to warn people. And I also wonder if it has any impact on the culture in Japan now and how its feelings are toward things like piercings. And I know that's something that is changing, but I'm just curious what the real impact of that was or is, or I don't know. It's something that I'm curious about. And you guys, if you have opinions on it or ideas on it, you can leave that down in the comments below. You can also let me know if there's another Japanese legend you would like me to talk about, and we can break it down and talk about it together. But guys, that pretty much wraps it up for this one. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And if you don't know what to comment down below, leave some little earring emojis. Not only does it help out my channel a lot, but it lets me know that you were here. It gives us a chance to chat. It lets me know you made it to the end of the video. And of course, I just love to see your faces down there. If you want to know a way to help out my channel, down below the links to my website, my merch store, and my Patreon. There's zero obligation to check any of those out, but if you want to, you can. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of you so very much. Remember to stay Genki AF, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Creepy Japanese... Hold on. We gotta start that over in a second because vodka decided she was thirsty. Which is fine. She's allowed to be thirsty.